Welcome, my fellow horror enthusiasts, to a place where the shadows whisper and nightmares come to life. Welcome to our channel, where we dive into the darkest and most mysterious tales that keep you up at night. Tonight, we venture into the chilling unknown, to the skeletal remains of abandoned amusement piers. Places where laughter once echoed through the salty air, now replaced by the chilling silence of forgotten memories and restless spirits. Three spine-chilling stories await us, each one more terrifying than the last. So turn off the lights, sit back, and prepare to be haunted by the ghostly tales of abandoned amusement pier towers. Imagine a place frozen in time. The Ferris wheel, once a beacon of joy, now stands as a rusted sentinel against the crashing waves, the creaking of its metal bones the only sound in the dead of night. It is here, in the shadow of the Ferris wheel, that our first story unfolds. Locals whisper of a shadowy figure, tall and gaunt, that paces the platform at the Ferris wheel's base. A figure that seems to melt into the darkness when approached, only to reappear with the next gust of wind, its hollow eyes watching, always watching. Some say it's the ghost of a worker who fell to his death during the pier's construction, his soul forever bound to the structure. Others believe it's a manifestation of the collective fear and sorrow that permeate this forgotten place. One night, a group of teenagers, emboldened by youthful bravado and a disregard for local legends, decided to explore the abandoned pier. They dared to climb the Ferris wheel, their laughter a jarring contrast to the eerie silence that hung in the air. As they reached the peak, the rusty wheel groaned, and the wind picked up, whipping their hair around their faces. And that's when they saw it. A figure standing on the platform below, silhouetted against the moonlit sky. Panic surged through them as they realized they were not alone. They screamed for the figure to go away, their voices lost in the howling wind. The figure remained motionless, its presence radiating an unnatural chill. Suddenly the Ferris wheel lurched, throwing the teenagers into a frenzy. They clung to the rusted bars, their knuckles white with fear. The figure below seemed to glide towards them, its form shifting and swirling in the shadows. One by one, the teenagers swore they saw the figure climbing the Ferris wheel, its skeletal fingers gripping the metal framework. Terror lent them a desperate strength, and they managed to rotate the wheel, bringing their carriage closer to the ground. As their feet touched the rickety platform, they didn't hesitate, didn't look back. They ran through the darkness, the figure's presence heavy behind them. They never returned to the pier, forever haunted by the memory of the shadowy figure at the Ferris wheel. Even now, years later, they say the figure still roams the abandoned pier, a silent guardian of its ghostly secrets, its hollow eyes searching the darkness, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lurk in the shadows. The Ferris wheel stands silent, a monument to forgotten laughter and lingering fear. Its rusted form, a stark reminder of the passage of time and the stories that linger long after the lights have faded. Deeper into the heart of the abandoned pier, past the skeletal remains of carnival games and the ghostly outline of the cotton candy stand, lies the decaying facade of what was once the haunted house. A place designed to elicit screams of feigned terror, it now stands as a chilling testament to the very real horrors that linger within its decaying walls. The air here is thick with the stench of mildew and decay, a tangible reminder of the passage of time and nature, reclaiming what was once hers. But it's the silence, or rather the lack of silence, that truly unsettles the soul. For within the rotting timbers, and behind the peeling paint of the haunted house, whispers echo, faint, disembodied voices that seem to emanate from the very walls themselves. Visitors brave enough to venture inside speak of feeling a cold breath on their necks, of unseen hands tugging at their clothes. Some claim to hear their names whispered, though they swear they are alone. Others report seeing fleeting glimpses of spectral figures lurking in the shadows, their forms disappearing as quickly as they appear. Legend has it that the haunted house is haunted by the spirits of those who met their demise within its walls. A tragic fire, they say, swept through the attraction years ago, trapping a group of terrified patrons inside. Their screams, it is said, can still be heard echoing through the empty corridors. Whether these whispers are the remnants of tormented souls or simply the wind whistling through the decaying structure, one thing is certain: the haunted house is a place of palpable dread. One evening, a group of paranormal investigators armed with EMF readers and night vision cameras decided to spend the night locked inside the haunted house. They hoped to document evidence of the paranormal activity that had plagued the pier for years. As darkness fell, the investigators set up their equipment, their every move illuminated by the eerie green glow of their cameras. The air grew heavy with anticipation as they waited for a sign, any sign, of the spirits that were said to roam these halls. At first there was nothing but the creaking of the old building and the distant sound of the waves crashing against the pier. But as the hours passed, the investigators began to hear the whispers. Softly at first, like the rustling of leaves, but gradually growing louder and more distinct. They pointed their cameras towards the source of the sound, their fingers hovering over the record buttons. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the silence. The investigators rushed towards the sound, their hearts pounding in their chests. They found one of their own, a young woman named Sarah, cowering in a corner, her eyes wide with terror. "I saw it," she stammered, her voice trembling. "A figure, tall and shadowy, with glowing red eyes. It was right there, staring at me." The other investigators searched the room, but there was no sign of the figure Sarah had described. They tried to calm her down, but she was inconsolable. She insisted that she had seen something evil, something that wanted to harm them. The investigators decided to end their investigation and leave the haunted house. But as they made their way towards the exit, they heard the whispers again, this time louder, more insistent. It was as if the spirits were mocking them, daring them to stay. They fled into the night, their equipment abandoned in their haste to escape. Sarah refused to speak of what she had seen that night, but the terror in her eyes spoke volumes. The haunted house had claimed another victim, its dark secrets forever etched into her psyche. Beyond the haunted house, at the very edge of the pier, where the wooden planks have long since surrendered to the relentless assault of the sea, lie the skeletal remains of the roller coaster. Its twisted metal tracks, once a symphony of shrieks and laughter, now stand as a chilling reminder of the impermanence of all things. Here, amidst the rusted supports and broken carriages, a different kind of horror manifests. A presence that tugs at the heartstrings as much as it chills the bone. It is the story of the ghostly child at the roller coaster. Those who dare to venture near the roller coaster ruins speak of a small, solitary figure often seen wandering amongst the wreckage. A child, they say, dressed in clothes that seem to belong to a bygone era. Its face, if it can be called a face, is often obscured by shadow or perhaps by something else entirely. It is said that the child is the ghost of a young boy who lost his life on the roller coaster many years ago. A tragic accident, they whisper, that occurred on the very day the pier was set to close its doors for good. The boy's parents, overcome by grief, refused to believe their son was gone, and so his spirit remained, forever tethered to the place where he drew his last breath. Visitors to the pier often report hearing the mournful cries of a child echoing through the wreckage of the roller coaster. A chilling sound carried on the wind that seems to pierce the very soul. Some claim to have seen the ghostly child running through the shadows, its laughter as fleeting and ethereal as the sea mist. One particularly harrowing account tells of a young couple who, drawn by the morbid curiosity that often accompanies such places, decided to visit the abandoned pier. As they made their way towards the roller coaster, they noticed a small figure sitting alone on one of the broken carriages. The figure was facing away from them, its head resting on its knees. The couple assumed it was just a lost child, and so they approached cautiously, calling out to the figure in soft, reassuring tones. As they drew closer, however, they realized that something was amiss. The figure remained motionless, its body unnaturally still. A cold breeze swept across the pier, and for a fleeting moment the figure lifted its head, revealing a face that sent shivers down their spines. The child's eyes, hollow and black as night, stared directly at them, and a smile stretched across its pale lips, revealing a row of sharp, pointed teeth. The couple, paralyzed with fear, could only watch in horror as the figure slowly faded away before their very eyes, leaving behind nothing but the echo of its chilling laughter. The ghostly child at the roller coaster serves as a chilling reminder that some wounds, like the rusted metal of the coaster itself, never truly heal. The pier, once a place of joy and laughter, is now a haunted playground for lost souls, forever trapped in the shadow of their final moments. Thank you for joining us on this terrifying journey into the heart of abandoned amusement pier towers. We've explored the shadows of forgotten laughter and unearthed the chilling tales that linger long after the crowds have gone. If you enjoyed these stories, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more spine-tingling tales from the darkest corners of the unknown. We'll keep the lights on for you. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the shadows. You never know what might be lurking just out of sight.